Hello everybody, Mega Goal 2, Unit 4. I wonder what happened for language in context, page number 58. Now let's take a look at the objectives. Number 1, write sentences about what you think had happened when Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home. And number 2, listen to answer the given questions. Number 3, practice pronouncing ER sound correctly. And number 4, answer some questions about you. راح نكتب جمل عن ماذا باعتقادكم حصل لما أتى مستر ومسز جونز للمنزل. راح نسمع عشان نجاوب على بعض الأسئلة. راح نتدرب على طريقة نطق ال ER sound بطريقة صحيحة. برضو راح نجاوب على بعض الأسئلة عن نفسك. So Unit 4, I wonder what happened. Language and context, listening and pronunciation. Page number 58. Now the first thing we will be looking at is the language and context. Here you're supposed to look at the picture and imagine what had happened before Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home. عندنا هنا صورة. مطلوب منكم تتخيلون ما الذي باعتقادكم حصل لما أتى مستر ومسز جونز للمنزل. Okay, so for example, you can say before Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home, for example, the boy had drawn on the wall. Okay, also you can say before Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home, the girl had worn her mom's, for example, clothes. Or the girl had dressed up in her mom's clothes. Okay, so you can just imagine what might have happened or what had happened before Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home. طبعا مطلوب انكم تكونون جمل. فقط بوضح لكم شغلة انه مثل ما انتم شايفين we have two actions. عندنا حدثين، فالمفروض الحدث اللي حصل اول يكون في ال past perfect. for example the boy had drawn. اوكي، طبعا والحدث اللي يكون في الماضي حصل بعد. اوكي، so you know how to formulate sentences using this this sentence as an example. Okay, before Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home, the boy had drawn on the wall. Okay, or you can say before Mr. and Mrs. Johns got home, the girl had worn her mom's clothes. Okay, or outfit. Anyways, you can just practice لأن مثل ما تعرفين اللي حدث قبل الماضي يكون في past perfect اللي هي had والتصريف الثالث، والحدث اللي حصل بعد يكون في الماضي البسيط. Okay, now let's move on to the listening part. Here you're supposed to listen to two strange events and complete the chart and write the strange events in the what happened column. طبعا الليسننج الآن عندنا يتكون من جزئين. الجزء الأول مطلوب منكم تستمعون إلى حادثتين غريبتين، يعني حوادث غريبة. The first one happened at Erica's house، في منزل إريكا، والحادثة الثانية حصلت في مزرعة فريد and Mildred's ranch. okay. طبعا هنا مفروض تكتبون what happened اللي حصل في this column. بعدها مفروض انكم تعبون letter B, write in your own idea about what or why it happened، لماذا حصل in the speculation or possibility column. طبعا أول شي راح يعني نحل الجزء الأول اللي what happened column. بعدها راح نناقش the second column, the speculation or the possibility. So get ready to listen and please listen carefully, and then later on we will answer what happened in Erica's house and also in Fred and Mildred's ranch. Get ready to listen.
Listening. A. Listen to the two strange events and complete the chart. Write the strange events in the What Happened column.
Erica Schwartz. I'd invited a new friend for breakfast. While we were drinking our coffee, my guest asked if I wasn't going to introduce the gentleman who had previously been in the dining room. I said it must have been my husband, Joe, and I went to look for him. But the person had disappeared. My friend assured me she had seen a man who was wearing dark pants, a white shirt, and a black tie. That night, I told my husband about it, but then we forgot all about the incident. 2 weeks later, my 10-year-old daughter woke up and saw a man standing at the foot of her bed, staring at her. We told her she must have had a bad dream. Several nights later, we heard noises of chairs being moved around in the dining room. Joe went downstairs to investigate. The chairs had been moved from their places, but there was no one there. As soon as he climbed back into bed, the noise started again. We lived with those noises for more than a year, and some of the guests who slept in our house swore they had seen a man who wore dark pants, a white shirt, and a black tie. In the end, we had to sell the place and move out.
Fred and Mildred McCann. Fred and Mildred McCann had finished rounding up the cattle and were heading home after a long and extremely hot day. It was already dark by the time they got to the edge of the woods that surrounded their property. Suddenly, they noticed a strange glow coming from the bushes about 100 yards away. Could it be sparks from a fire? A fire at this time of the year would be catastrophic. Mildred and Fred got on their horses and rode to the spot. As they approached a clearing in the middle of the trees, they saw hundreds of tiny lights flickering in the bushes. They looked like miniature stars.
B. Write your own idea about why it happened in the Speculation Possibility column. Compare ideas with other students.
Okay, so right now you have listened to two strange events, and the first one happened at Erica's house. ففي منزل إريكا obviously that many strange incidents happened. Okay, and they were يعني هذه الحوادث كانت very strange and she was scared. طبعا what happened is that okay, now people saw a man in dark pants, white shirt and black tie in Erica's house. Erica and her husband also heard noise in the night. Okay, طبعا الناس كانوا يرون رجل يلبس dark pants بنطلون غامق وكذلك white shirt وبلاك تاي طبعا في منزل إريكا. برضو إريكا و her husband also heard كانوا يسمعون أصوات في الليل. Okay, so this is regarding what happened at Erica's house. Now, as for Fred and Mildred's ranch and what happened in there, that Fred and Mildred saw a bright glow from some bushes. As they got closer, they saw thousands of tiny lights on the bushes. طبعا رأوا bright glow من البوشز. طبعا لما اقتربوا كان يعني في نور قوي وكذلك ساطع. لما اقتربوا من هذا الضوء رأوا آلاف من الضوء الصغير from the bushes, okay, or on the bushes. Right now, let's move on to the next part, which is the speculation or the possibility. What do you think? Why? Or يعني بتوقعكم how can we explain what happened at Erica's house and at Fred and Mildred's ranch? Now, the man الرجل اللي كان في منزل إريكا ممكن يكون have been a ghost شبح. ممكن يكون شبح. Okay, Now, as for the glow the bright glow that Fred and Mildred saw from the bushes, they must have been fireflies. ممكن تكون اللي هي الحشرات اللي نسميها الفireflies. Okay? So this is regarding this part. And if you feel that listening to the audio once is not enough, of course you can pause the video or you can run the audio one more time. ممكن تشغلونه أكثر من مرة أو مرة أخرى. And you can start afterwards, you can start answering the questions. Okay, and right now let's move on to the pronunciation part. Okay, now you have to listen and note how the ER ending in the following words, and of course you should practice pronouncing these words later on.
Crater, driver, recover, water, discover.
Okay, so right now you can just pause the video, try to practice pronouncing these words accurately. Now, right now, let's move on to answer some of the questions about you. Now, have you ever seen a meteorite? هل سبق وأن رأيتم a meteorite؟ اللي هو الشهب. Now, number 2, have you ever heard or read about unusual incidents that were hard to explain? Have you ever heard or read about unusual incidents that were hard to explain? هل سبق وأن قرأت أو سمعت عن حوادث غير عادية وكان صعب تفسيرها؟ So, number 3, have you ever seen a puzzling sight like those on page number 54? Talk about your experience. طبعا لما تذكرون في صفحة 54 كان في مواقف غريبة مثل الميتيورايت اللي ضرب منزل أحد الأشخاص في أمريكا، وكذلك الفولكانو، وتكلمنا برضو عن تورنيدو. فهل سبق وأن رأيت أحد هذه الحوادث اللي ذكرت في صفحة 54؟ ممكن تتكلمون عن تجربتكم. So that's it. We have reached the end of the lesson. I hope that you have enjoyed our lesson. Don't forget, as usual, to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and hit the like button. Till next time, have a good one. بس طبعا ما أنسى أذكركم، يعني بترك لكم رابط الصفحة على الانستقرام إذا حبيتوا تتابعوني، وكذلك بترك لكم رابط قناتي على التلقرام if you would like as well to join it. That's it. Till next time, have a good one.